Garden Town is a town of bandits and outlaws in the Old West. It's the time of the Great Roundup. Banana Dave, and his hero father has traveled west to take part in it. Dave is looking for more adventure than he can find here. He decides to become sheriff, or maybe even a bit of fame. He and his good friend and would-be deputy from the opposite direction set off on a dangerous quest to capture and return the outlaw known as the Onion Gang. While they saddle up Banana Dave, Pickle Ted, and Cabbage Larry sorted and sized cattle so they could meet up with some fellows with the unique names of Lil, Yum Yum, and Zing Zang. They have different reasons for riding the Great Roundup into town. Lil is riding into town looking for Peaches the saloon girl. Zing Zang is looking for a good meal. Yum Yum and Ted are both hunting for a legendary card game and a good time. The mayor is going around starting rumors that a large bandit camp has been spotted. The Onion Gang could be coming to Garden Town to terrorize the people of the town. The idea is the Garden Gang will try to take the outlaws captive, and after a day in jail, maybe they'll be real cowboys. The hero of the story will be Sheriff Banana Dave. Outlaw Tomato Gus's best friends are Angel Jim, Sawmill Lenny, Rambo Johnson, the chicken farmer Gary, and Chuckles the stable man. Mayor Orange. He is the mayor of the town. And of course the not-so-friendly Onion Gang members including the outlaws Mark, Lefty, and Louie. Sheriff Banana Dave can really put the hurt on those old Onion boys. All the vegetables of the town are scared and hiding, looking out windows, waiting for the Onion Gang to arrive. When the Onion Gang come to town and get ready for a gunfight, they all line up and call out to the mayor and the sheriff. The Potato Spud and the Beet Red, and the Tomato Gus and the Pumpkin Kilburn come out to meet the gang head on. The other members of the gang try to hide behind something, but the mayor puts his foot in the middle of the circle and shoves the bad guys aside and they go ahead. When the sheriff is looking the other way, the man behind the mayor puts his foot on the poor sheriff's foot and tries to intimidate him. He's not going to fall for that. So, then the sheriff peeks around the other side of the mayor and, sure enough, there's the potato standing behind him. The potato seems to be nervous and drops a pebble and the sheriff ducks and they all get jumpy. Everyone has a trigger finger. The Onion Boys stare everyone directly in the eye, hateful, scalding faces. A gun goes off, no one is injured. But it was so loud they were all deafened temporarily. They need to strike a deal with the Onion Boys. That will end well. When the guy behind the mayor with the gun isn't able to cause damage, the man behind the sheriff takes care of him. He picks the Onion Lefty off his feet and takes care of him with a boot to the head. It was the potato and the mayor, who made a deal and they get what they wanted, from the Onion Gang. So everyone went off to the saloon to play cards. The Tomato Gus had another problem, he couldn't hear, and the potatoes said that they were all deaf because of the onion incident. Well, they avoided a gunfight, and they were getting rid of the Onion Gang. Garden Town has a few wily characters, they must have heard the news about Johnny Law and ready for a fight. So we start the story by seeing the Tomato Gang rob the Onion Gang of all their cattle. Then we find out who is on whose side. It's the potato, who can't be trusted, and the potato's friends. They are buddies with the mayor. It is then the potato decides it is time for them to have an intervention. After dinner, they decide to talk about the different events of the day and all the things that might not have been a great idea. All of Garden Town says Sheriff Banana Dave is a hero. Then the sheriff goes home. He finds the Potato Spud missing, and thinks it is the Onions who kidnapped him. He tries to arrest them but they are hiding. When they walk outside, they hear 2 gunshots, and then they think they have been shot. They start to run down the road to the saloon. The sheriff catches up with them and says that he and Spud were shot by an onion. The potato's grandfather reminds him of their deal and says, "I will cut your head off when I get to you." The tomato gang takes a break. Back at the bar, the sheriff got rid of the villains, they were all tied up to poles. The sheriff decides it is time to find the person who shot the potato. They decide it is the onion. Now Potato has a bad leg and limps when he gets tired. He says he can't walk because there is nothing there. So they get the potato a cast, which they put on his leg. So the sheriff was able to follow the blood trail, they have a split second to catch the bad guys. So they got 2 more Onion Gang members still on the loose. Then they head to the bar. Then the sheriff comes in and orders them to get the big hunk onion lefty, take him to the vault. At the end we find out that the potato and his family were given a place in the onion village. The sheriff feels bad for them because they've been going hungry. His grandma wanted them to have a community, and then we get a nice cliffhanger. We don't know what is going to happen. The sheriff has to go to the place the sheriff said he would be, and the deputy Spud is going with him to make sure he doesn't get captured by the Onion Gang. As they walk across the country, the deputy gets stopped by the sheriff. Then we find out that the deputy Spud is the one who helped the Onion's dad. He used to have a ranch with the Onion Gang and then it went sour, so the sheriff brought him to his house for a dinner. Then they get closer and the sheriff asks the deputy Spud how he got his gun, because he hid it under the card table. Then we have to go to court for the trials. The trial is going bad, then they get a witness. It is a crazy onion who says he can prove it wasn't him. It is the deputy. He doesn't like the sheriff because he wants to be sheriff. Then the sheriff has the deputy Spud arrested. That's all I can say about the trial. I didn't find it very interesting at all, but that's my opinion. Then they have to go to his house to tell his wife that he's in trouble, and she says, "We will be moving back east with her sister." The potato has to go to the prosecutor to talk to him about how the sheriff arrested him, the lady that gave him the cast, who turned out to be the tomato Gus's wife. She says that the potato Spud broke the deal and is a bad guy. She tells him that if he leaves, he will have to leave his whole family behind. The potato is in a tough spot, but he doesn't want to leave his family behind. The tomato's brother says the sheriff is a good guy because he caught the 2 bad guys. Then they ask why the deputy is being arrested. But because the sheriff thinks Spud's a bad guy, and he has his reasons. The lady says she is going to talk to the prosecutor. The prosecutor said that he was a good guy and that they should listen to him because he is the sheriff. Then Sheriff Dave arrives with the new deputy. He asks why they are so slow and says they are stupid for going to the potato Gus's house. Then the sheriff asks him if he broke the deal. The deputy says no. Then the deputy Spud goes to the prosecutor and asks why is it that he is in trouble. The tomato's brother asks why Tomato Gus has to go to jail, and the sheriff says because they are always getting into trouble. He puts the potato and tomato in jail, he says because they need to straighten out. Potato's wife can't do anything to save him. So the sheriff puts him in the jail, and she moves back east to her sisters with the kids. That's all I can say about the whole story. First, I think it's cool to read about how 2 characters cross paths and try to help each other out. A lot of kids can relate to the idea that they are getting picked on by people, and a good guy like the sheriff just wants to stand up for someone he doesn't know. And the banana is the only person on earth who is a bit of a jerk, but all in all it ends well.